I'm not really worried that Facebook and Twitter, all these other social media companies are going to change my life or impact my life.
I think privacy is dead. I actually think it doesn't matter at all, and nobody gives a.
If you have something that you don't want anyone to know, maybe you shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
You must have guessed from the intro that privacy is not a big deal, and I kind of feel the same. But today we have someone who feels otherwise. Meet Vishwa. He's the founder and chief AI officer at TechOptima and Dr. Pinnacle. He is a veteran of the industry for the past 15 years or so. His ideologies meet at an intersection where deep tech and cybersecurity collide. He dedicated his career towards developing products which are privacy first and where AI and technology is democratized. Welcome, Vishwa.
Thank you, Akhil.
Yes. So privacy, I don't think it's a big deal. What is all this fuss about? What are your thoughts about it?
It should be a deal.
Okay.
Because when you mention that it's not a big deal, but big companies or any other people, that is what they sell at the first. If you take Apple as an example, right? Privacy and security, right? That is what they keep selling us, right?
Correct.
So you need to really consider what are you really doing on the digital platforms and in your entire life also, okay? So I mean, like even when you talk to your parents also, Mom, just give me some privacy, right? You keep telling that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, you should really consider it as a big deal.
Yeah. But privacy is a modern thing, right? Internet came and then privacy, security, all these antivirus softwares or anti-malware softwares. I only recognize privacy from there.
So Akhil, let me tell you a story, right? In 1920s in US, there is a cop, who was running a complete alcohol cartel, okay? And he was thinking that he's doing fine, okay? He was not aware that somebody else was listening. I mean, like someone else in the sense the cops over there, the local people or anything. But see, he is doing entire this business from his home, he thinks that he's doing from his private area in another sense, right? So all the phone calls, whatever he's making, he thinks that everything is private, okay? Right? So, but feds over there, they just heard what he's doing and everything, and then they convicted him. Okay, so in the court, this was admissible pretty much, but one of the judge over there, they said that this person, or in this case, literally he has the right to let alone, basically. I mean, right? And in another sense, they said that reading a closed letter is fine, but listening it to a phone call will do more harm. This is one thing, right?
Yeah.
So there is another story also, right? So there is this gambler who's doing complete gambling, okay? But he's doing it now from a public telephone booth. In the olden days, we used to have public telephone booths and STD, right? So similarly, he was doing completely from public.
Yeah.
And again, the same cops heard what he's doing. They felt it is not correct thing, it is illegal. So they convicted him also, they took him into the court. But court this time said that it inadmissible.
Okay.
Why? Because this is from the public telephone. Okay. So, and this is from the public space.
Yeah.
Okay?
But when was this?
It is in 1960s somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was 1920s.
Yeah.
This is 1960s. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like that's how you can see how, the rethinking of privacy is getting adopted into this society, right?
Yes.
And from that time onwards, they mentioned that there should be a reasonable expectations of the privacy, which has to be inherited into the society,
Got it.
for the good cause.
Got it.
And this one, it's been a classical example of man in the middle attacks, basically. And that is what we use in the current internet age also. While any data is getting transferred here and there, basically you can just tap into that.
Okay. So what is this man in the middle attack?
I mean, like there is two people over here, right? They are doing some transaction. I mean, like in the sense they are doing some kind of a conversation or data flow is going from A to B, right? And the C guy comes into the middle and he knows what these two people are doing, right?
This reminds me of what I was researching. It was a case which happened around the same time and about a guy called Kharak Singh. He was a dacoit as we call it, he was under surveillance 24/7 by Indian police, and he was followed everywhere. He was they saw what he was eating, whom he was meeting, and where he was going. They would even be in his house at night, but they collected all evidence because it was for evidence, because he was a proper big dacoit and he was presented in the court. Apparently the court took admission, but it acknowledged the fact that raat mein, at least in the night, at least he should be let alone. They can't be in his private space, because what they recognized and what he was also pleading was that he didn't have sense of freedom mentally. So physically is one thing, but mentally also not having a sense of freedom is again privacy, right? Like mentally, I was worried that was India going to be a surveillance state or not. This thought came from the Aadhaar Act that was passed. The whole debate, there was a lot of concerns raised that this might create a surveillance state. Now, do you think Aadhaar Act, whatever they did with Aadhaar, would it have created surveillance state?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, like, it was made for a cause, right? For
Okay.
example, if you want some thing from the government, I mean, like, there are so many welfare schemes and everything, right? So if you want them, they should definitely have that kind of a data over there, right? Who is eligible for that, who is not eligible. So they cannot just give those welfare schemes for the everyone, right?
Yeah.
So having that kind of a data for a good cause is always good.
Okay.
But obviously, if you want to opt out from that kind of a stuff, and if you feel some insecurity or anything, you can opt out from there.
Like, do you think people should be worried?
I think people, rather than being worried, I would say people should be aware, and people literally have to be concerned. Okay. And then the rest maybe. Okay. Because see, you will get worried only when you get hit. I mean, like, see, we all live in the metro cities, right?
Yeah.
So basically, so when you're driving, you feel like, yeah, I'm safe, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm driving. Unless and until you get hit by someone else or you hit someone else, that is when you start worrying, and that is when your family or any other people start worrying about it. But before you get to that point, take your own concerns, right? Try to know what kind of things you can literally do on the digital space. And try to learn. If you don't know something, try to learn and be aware of the situations and how to act on that particular, rather than saying that, okay, my entire doors are closed, I am private. It doesn't make sense in that way. That is what, people literally tell us, but you need to literally know, because even if your doors are closed, make sure you open up your windows. You need to define your own, boundary, or you need to define your own privacy concerns, walls, and everything.
The other day we were talking. You told me how one of your family members got into trouble because of a forwarded message. Right? Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah. I mean, like, it was just a small APK file which got spreaded out on the internet. Nobody knows where it comes from and what it is, right? So nowadays we are opting for the things. So the moment when you opt something else, you need to really know what are the clauses of the privacy, what I'm opting, and what kind of data I'm really giving. And I literally like one of the feature in Apple, when you're downloading an app or anything, there is a small stuff. This is the kind of a data which Apple literally consider while downloading an app or you're registering. But yeah, going back to the story, right? So she got this message, my aunt, right? So she downloaded that APK file on Android, and entire thing is changed now. Her WhatsApp profile, it's because she is involved in multiple groups. The guy who is the attacker over there, he has the complete access of that WhatsApp group, and he started spreading out the messages in a wrong way and everything. And it is too late. It's already damaged. And now this is the worrying period, right? You get this worrying period when it is too late, literally. And before that, if you're really concerned and if you're really aware of these stuff, then you wouldn't enter into that zone of worrying, right? Again. So the entire family got worried and the entire family started running, and it was too heavy rain on that particular day also. They started running here, there, and because see, when you start worrying, you get a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
This might happen, that might happen, this, that, and all that.
Rather have all this worry beforehand.
Yeah.
Get educated that cyber crime is probably the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is so easy. Like I'm 100% sure that that guy would have had access to her identification documents. And was there any bank transaction involved?
Nothing involved, but the image got damaged in another sense, right? The image, basically, you maintain a privilege when you are in a group or in your team or something, but that gets damaged and that gets hurt a lot. And imagine, if a person who is really privileged or who is really who has some respect in a society, if something happens like this, people don't tell you on the face, but they say, see how stupid that person is. He doesn't know the basics of that. Right? You can feel that.
That's
right?
very sad.
Basically, yeah. So that's how things turned over, but it's fine. At the end of the day, it is what it is, right? And in current scenario, when you are searching something else, you don't become a search, right? And that's the reason why we have a search engine which is known as opt search. Okay, and it is completely anonymous. Your searches will never get saved anywhere else on any servers, whatever we have, and it's completely anonymous, private, and anything. You search anything else on the internet, and you will never become a search.
So when you say I will never become a search, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. So see, you are searching, for example, that what is a good place to eat, right? So the intent is that, right? Your search is an intent for the search engines which are out there, right? And they take that, they run through a funnel of data analytics funnel and everything. They catch all the emotions behind that and all the analytics they just perform, and they know that when Akhil comes over here, he might like this. The recommendation, this is how the recommendation engines in AI has been developed, because your data has been harvested so much. Don't become again the same harvest. Don't make sure that you are searching the right things or searching the right intent on the internet, so that you are not giving so much of data to that. I have seen this as a classical example in my own life also, right? So when I really want to acquire a new domain, like some .com, .in or anything else, and I used to go in on the Google and I used to search, is this domain available or not? So I used to block it, and next day morning when I log in back, this domain is sold out. You got it. So people are watching you, right?
Yeah.
People are literally watching you, and it's happening. So, and that's the reason why we bought this particular thing, which is known as opt search.
Got it.
Yeah.
So opt search doesn't know who you are.
No.
Doesn't retain anything.
Nothing.
Doesn't give you recommendations.
Nothing.
Pure search.
Just go get what you need and make sure you're happy with the searches there.
Now I clearly understood the advent of how personalized data can be used against me. The entire 360-degree approach towards one person, his movements and everything. What exactly is 360? Can you break it down a little more?
I'll just tell you the simple examples, right?
Yeah.
As you are not able to wrap it, but when you purchase an iPhone, you wrap your head 360 degree to get a facial recognition.
Yeah.
Right? So your facial recognition, your entire face symmetricity is already downloaded into your system. Any phone is also a system. It's a localized thing. Even you have internet, you don't have internet, your phone gets open. And similarly, your eyes, entire biometric data, right? It's getting saved on those devices and it is getting processed on the request.
Correct.
Okay. Even it is connected, not connected, right?
Correct.
And similar example of the biometric locks, which we feel like we are secured when I have that biometric lock, but it is getting stored over there on those devices, right? And similarly, in the cars, right? If you have a dash cam, basically, it records your driving experience, and there are plenty of other data fact. When you are driving a small car, it has a beep sound when you go hit 80. It says beep, right? Simple, right? That means it is collecting that data. That hey, you know what? When you're driving beyond 80, the data is getting collected in that engine control unit, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like how many times I've crossed 80, it'll have.
It will have.
So if my car goes to servicing, no, they'll have all the data.
Yes, you can get everything. And that is how your insurance prices go up, go down, and everything.
Okay.
Complete.
So what if I turn my phone off? Okay. What if I turn my phone off? But I'm living in a society. I turn my phone off, turn my iPod off. I'm not connected to Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
How will I be? How will they collect data then?
See, nowadays the technology runs is on the edge technology. The cloud computing or cloud days are gone.
Okay.
Right? So everything is on the edge.
Okay.
Literally. As soon as you connect to your internet nearby, goes off because it keeps recording. See, these are the classical recorders. In back in days, those press people, they used to carry recorders, voice recorder phones or something else, right? Because they cannot write it everything. So these phones are in another sense, they're classical good examples for recorders, trackers and everything. Right? I know one of the personal experience, right? So one of my friend was playing chess with his daughter. So, we know that it keeps listening and everything, but he's also a techie guy. So he had his phone right next to him. He's playing chess and they were complaining that this chessboard is not good. We need to order something new, right? So immediately after they have completed the chess game, he went on to the Amazon and Amazon recommended what kind of chessboards he has to purchase. They know everything about you, So this is a kind of a technique which pretty much used for predictive analytics as well as, it's core of data mining. I mean, like one of the classical example why OYO is valued at that level, literally, because OYO implemented data mining techniques to market themselves out.
What kind of data will OYO have?
So much. I mean, like so much of data, personalized data, your identification number and everything is fine. So what they did is, when you're booking a rooms at OYO, you will be scrolling out all those pictures and everything, right? So they were able to figure it out that, Akhil likes this kind of an image or this kind of a paint in the room. So I need to recommend him only these kind of hotels which has this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So he pushed that product so much, right? In the form of advertisements, sponsor ads, vagera on the platforms, and it's evaluated so much right now. So this is what Akhil's 360 degree. Customer 360 is what we call the regular use case, basically. So everything revolves 360 degrees around that. So what product they have to sell you, what kind of a credit card does Akhil like, or what, everything literally, right? It revolves 360 degree and everything. And when you go a little bit higher, we call it as hyper personalization and all that. So all this is capable of doing by machine learning algorithms which are out there.
But who are collecting these data? Who will use these data? For what will they use this data?
Yeah. So there are legal ways to collect the data and there are illegal ways also. See, know your customer is one thing which is 360 degrees of your own data.
Okay.
KYC, right? When they do it.
Oh, okay.
Simple, straight, right? So there are data brokers out there. They keep selling this data to the other data partners and everything. And that is the reason why data is the new oil, we call it. And without that, no engine runs.
So clearly nothing is private.
Yes, to say nothing is private. People know about you, as they have created an image of yourself, and yeah.
Now this piqued my interest. You just said there are legal ways of obtaining data, illegal ways of obtaining data, right? Can you tell me about the illegal ways of obtaining data? How will that happen? And who buys it?
Yeah. So, one of the classic example was AIM's data attack, which happened during the COVID season.
Okay.
So almost 2 terabytes of data has been hacked.
Okay.
It's been done by different group of people for what motive, we don't know. But see, the data which lies over there, right? It is the patient's data. See, what can you do with that data is what you can feel, right? So you have everything over there. For example, some XYZ person has pretty much, joined in hospital for something else, for cardiac arrest or anything. And if I have to really target him, there are plenty of social engineering techniques which you can use and everything. So if I really want to know, I know that this guy has joined this hospital, right? Then I can manipulate the entire database of them, saying that rather than giving this particular pill, give him this. So, convenience to do illegal activities has become so convenient.
So who are these guys? Let's say some crackers or hackers have got this data. Okay. Now, can these guys sell it to legal companies?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
They can make the money again, basically. And that is what the Data Brokers Act.
Okay, who are these data brokers? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so there is so much amount of data which gets collected over there. So when I want to develop an application or anything, right? I access that data by using APIs and everything. I don't use it complete picture of that. I would need only specific needs of that. What I'm developing and all that. But now everybody collects everything about you. As I told, that 360 degree, right?
Yeah.
So you should literally know what it is. But these medial people, there are plenty of companies. Okay, cannot name those companies, but there are plenty of them. They'll just give it to you. You need that data, they'll just give it to you. One of the clear example, if I have to tell you, in my view, now internet has become a propaganda rather than become a communication channel. Okay, because the news gets spreaded so much.
Okay.
Right. Just keep spreading. So Google has this news API. You take that API, you present it anywhere on your own application. For example, you want to release some XYZ news channel. You get that data from there. You present it over there.
You said Google has an API, right? That these channels and what all exists in that generally.
You will have the personalized data over there also.
Okay.
Right? For example, when you write an article about some XYZ person again, so you collect so much of information and you write an article.
Correct.
So all that can be captured. Right?
Okay.
And you see, it's following those dots, literally. If you want to target someone else and if you want to make their life miserable, you follow those dots, literally. And this is information gathering phase, you call it. And we call it as open source intelligence.
Open. So can you give me an example of one such tool that can damage with all this information that is available?
Yeah, there is one tool. It's known as Harvestor.
Okay.
Basically, right? So you can just, it's very easy to run, right? You don't need really programming skills or anything else for that. You just go plug in your name over there, first name or last name, and just enter, and it will give you where else you've been registered. I have shown this as an example to plenty of people when I have kept their name in there and asked the algorithm to get me error, and people were surprised that I just registered only in this platform, but I don't know if I have really registered. And there are their profiles. You'll see a lot of them, and that's
Did they register?
there. Yeah, you'll get the genuine answers of what they have registered, and some of them they haven't registered.
They haven't registered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like the classic example of Wells Fargo's case, right? Yeah, similarly. Yeah.
Okay. So your data is out there. Someone else is registering for you.
Yeah.
They've used your ID to do whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. That is very scary.
Yes.
Clearly, it's very scary. It should be something that I should wake up and worry about.
Yeah.
So, what would be the general cost of buying such data?
So it cost from literally from tens to millions.
Right.
That's all. But there's no straight cut cost for this or anything.
I keep hearing this term a lot, which is metadata. Right. Now I clearly understood the advent of how personalized data can be used against me. The entire 360 degree approach towards one person, his movements and everything. But what is metadata?
When we are saying there is an interlink between two data points, right? Basically. Yeah. So that interlink gets formed by metadata. Metadata is the link, literally. Okay. And it is very, very costly. And see, we assume that when you press a button called delete, it's gone. but it's not gone.
Okay.
It's still there.
Where
in the
is it?
form of metadata.
Okay. Okay.
In the servers, in the cache, in everything. And majorly, you can see it in the cache. When you go and start browsing by using Chrome or any other browsers, you feel incognito mode is a complete private mode. But it's not. Your metadata literally gets saved in those processes. You can just go and just check it, literally. All the cached memory will be there, literally. And that metadata gives, to restore back anything else. That is the power. I mean, as I told, delete will never delete anything. There will be the footprints of whatever the existing stuff. Okay. And if you really want to delete that, then you should know how to delete metadata first.
So how will one know how to delete metadata?
Yeah, it literally requires little bit of an expertise.
Okay.
From a regular expertise, it would really need that. So you need to learn what are those processes which are running and all that. And once you know the root files where it is getting installed and all that, then you can pretty much do that.
Now we are having this conversation about privacy, right? Like it's our fundamental right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But clearly you're saying metadata will exist forever. It can't be deleted. What is the balance between data keeping and me having privacy, me choosing privacy of, keeping my life private? What is this balance that we're dealing with? How is that even possible?
See, it's always here and there when you want to balance, but there are few kind of rules and laws, compliances especially, right? So you can store a person's data or thing for some amount of time and for some amount of cost. And if you're storing it beyond that, you should literally show it in your compliance reports and all that.
Okay.
But there is some governing principles around that to keep your data and all that.
But you were saying this privacy and private, right? There's a difference between that. I struggle to understand that difference. Can you explain it to me?
When you are in a group of people, you always want to be private. Okay?
Yeah.
See, controlling few aspects of your own things, literally, and, keeping them for that cause and for that need over there, right?
Okay.
And similarly, being alone yourself is privacy. So this is what happens with Apple or any other data brokers or anywhere, literally. So they keep your data, whatever the 360 data which they are collecting from watch, from all the sources, from your laptop, iPad, iPhone, all that, right? So they keep that private. They don't give it to any other people, right? But they protect and they respect your privacy. At that stand.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how you can just put it.
Okay. People don't know about these things, right? I didn't know about these many aspects like you're breaking it down to me.
Yeah.
I never thought that my car is recording my driving speed.
Yeah.
That will affect my insurance. I could never think of it. But how should people know about these things? How will there ever be a regulation?
I don't think so. It will be a very stringent kind of regulations will never come because people need that freedom. Anyway,
Okay.
Right. Because again, see, you have to see it from a cost point also, right? They collect this kind of data to make you secure, safe.
Okay.
Right? So in that way also you can just see that. If something goes wrong while you're driving a car, right? That if that air balloon has to trigger or if you have to claim something else on the insurance side or anything. So these will become your evidences in another sense. Right. But it's fine. That's how you have to balance all the time. There is good, there is bad. Right.
So I read this in the news that Samsung banned ChatGPT in its corporation, like use of it on a daily basis for all its employees. So it banned, and then JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, mostly banks have all banned the use of the LLM in their corporations. Why did they have to do that?
Yeah, because see, these ChatGPT, for example, right? It's a public one, right? So see, their ideology behind it, because banks has a lot of sensitive data, your financial data, your wealth and everything. But see, they have good amount of money, funds and everything. So they are concentrating on building, which is nothing but the private LLMs, right? And that is what TechOptima has built. in India, and it is India's first private LLM which we have built, which is known as Opt LLM. Yeah.
Now, I'm learning something new here, which is private AI, right? I have no idea. So I just want to touch upon the foundation once and go back to private AI.
As we are progressing so much on everyday basis, you would need larger systems to think, to reason, to give the best recommendation for you and all that. So, you can obviously create your own large language model. I mean, like, it doesn't really have to be somewhere else in the trillion parameters or anything. You can create your own large language model, which will be suffice for your entire life, maybe around like in the millions of parameters based model. Right? But this will help you as an assistant, as down the line. Basically, now we call it as agentic AI world, which is happening, right? So for every task, you enter a prompt and it will get it done.
Got it. So can you give us a difference, like a comparison between a public LLM, public AI, and a private AI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, public AI is, again, it's publicly available. People's data is out there and everything. Whereas private it will be on your premises.
Okay.
Okay. It is not going to sit on someone's private cloud or anything else. It will be on your premises. All the data will be within the boundaries of your own walls, literally. And this will be very cost effective. For the private LLM to design a private AI, and you are creating your own intelligence in another sense.
Okay.
You're not relying on someone's intelligence.
Okay.
So that is what Google or any other companies has did in the past, right?
Yeah.
All those are public lineups. For example, Claude or any other stuff.
Yeah.
You ask any question, it will give you. And over here also, you ask any question, it gets trained. Okay, the foundational model will get trained on the general data.
Yeah.
Okay, but you fine tune it and you pre-train saying that, hey boss, this is your boundaries. You just be only over here, and we use a lot of guardrailing technologies around that, and we guardrail that particular LLM to act only in that.
You're saying that I can control my LLM. Hey, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I can't control ChatGPT. I can't tell it not to give me that, not to give me this.
Yeah.
As in, even though if I tell it, it will still have a very public data set.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So in private LLM, the data set is limited. It's controlled.
Yeah.
Right?
It is your own data.
It can't have access to outside world, or outside world can't have access to what's happening inside. It is intelligent, and it will give you all the necessary, task solving or anything that you need your company to do.
Yes.
It'll function always.
It will
possible.
function all the functionalities. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, see, over a period of a time, you're just training your own toddler in another sense.
Okay.
That's a simple way to put it. My son has to be just like me, kind of a concept, right? In another sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So that makes difference.
Okay. And will this have access to internet?
There are two different kind of models, basically.
Okay.
Right? So one, say, first version is always better to have offline model, basically. Right. So even if you have started using ChatGPT in early 2021 or 20 somewhere, it is completely offline model. It wasn't connected to search or anything. Now you see a button which is search. So it is automatically connected to the internet. So to speed up the process of reinforced learning, basically they have created. But yeah, you can have it offline model and online model completely.
Okay. So I'll just summarize. Public AI is trained on the world's data, and it's all open, and whatever you feed it, whatever you give it, even though so I have a question regarding it. Whatever you give it, it is out in the public. It's out for the world. Let's say if I feed all my data about my company, if someone searches about my company in public AI, they will have access to all my company details. Right? It will give them everything.
It will give you everything.
Okay. But in private LLM, there is no access to the public. It is only accessible to your employees and the company's whatever stakeholders, and that intelligence will only function for the benefit of your company, and it is secure. Okay, let's say I don't have a private LLM, okay, but I still run a company, and there's some amount of sensitive data that I deal with. So if I'm using a public AI to do all of this computation or whatever, what are the risks that I might face?
One is sensitive information which you are leaking out.
Okay.
Again, whatever the PII, which we call personal identification information.
Yeah.
Because see, companies when they are running, they run on the agreements, right? The contracts and everything. For example, if I just tell to one of my, junior employee, right? Hey, you know what? This is the project scope. This is the stuff. I give him all the KT documentation, and he uses ChatGPT. He'll click the button, attach them, and put it. Give me the summary of this. He'll ask similar,
Yeah.
right? And it will give me the summary. This document is already fed into the system, right?
Yeah.
And then write me a code on this. For this particular requirement, write me a code. The code is developed by itself, right?
Yeah.
By ChatGPT, the public LLM, right? So that code I'll plug it into my system. So there is a lot of information which you keep sharing on everyday basis on your project requirements and all that. So indirectly, without the consciousness, you're doing that because your job has to get finished.
Correct.
Yeah. So that is a very big threat, and you're not thinking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you should stop doing that and start adopting private LLMs into your organization so that it will be in your own boundary and it will solve your purpose.
Let's say I've used these public AIs and I've put out sensitive information, but can I delete it? Can
No,
I
it's
access it?
gone, it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone, it's gone completely.
So there is no way.
No way. You
Anyone.
can delete the conversation. But see, to give a response, right, it has to really get trained on that particular
Trained.
thing. So that training will happen on instantaneously, just like that. And it will give you the understanding. So that is what you'll tell, right? When you're feeding a project requirement document, you'll say, hey, can you please understand this and tell me what are the key pointers out. So when you're throwing that intent of understand, so it has to read that entire document, the system, and it will give you a response.
Correct. Okay. So you tell me this can be a little controversial. So even in these public AIs, there is an option for it to not retain chat or data or whatever. There's a toggle switch. How much of a reality is that?
That is actually not a reality.
Okay.
It's just like, again, using an incognito mode will never make you, disappeared on the internet.
Okay.
No matter what, there is a feedback loop which is already defined in these systems. Okay.
Okay.
We call it as human reinforced feedback loops.
Okay.
It is already there, inbuilt. You cannot take that gear out and you cannot run anything, literally.
Okay.
So you toggle that switch, it still get trained on the data, basically. See, every prompt which you are asking now, it gets trained. And that's the reason why it asks you to give thumbs up, thumbs down, or if you have any feedback, vagera, all that. Right?
Yeah.
So that it gets better more and more.
Understood. Understood. Okay, this can be a little personal to you. What irked you about privacy that you made an entire LLM and you made that LLM even private for people like me or companies? What is that energy behind it?
It was very, simple for me. Whenever I die, my memories has to stay somewhere else.
Got it.
So I started creating such a system, and I pretty much started training on the data which I have access to, my own data, my own books which are available on the PDF, my own projects and everything. And I started experimenting, and I felt like this has to be there. Even my child can pretty much go in and talk to there in my absence. So I just want to create my image over there in my absence. That's all.
But you are, as a person also, I know you, that you are a little particular and kind of a torch bearer for privacy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where does that philosophy come from?
That philosophy pretty much comes from, I learned through my own experiences. Okay. You really have to maintain your own privacy in your life. You cannot keep everything open. I respect other people's privacy also, and similarly, that is what they ask of every individual who is on this earth, literally. So I think that is most core part, And that's the reason why, privacy has to be in the designs. Privacy-based technology, privacy-based design has to come out, and it has to adhere the fundamental principles of the humans for the future of the humanity.
So we clearly saw that all the public LLMs and public AIs were created by these giants, right? OpenAI, Google, Meta, these guys, right? But you're saying the blueprints are all available over the internet, right? How can someone like me, a layman, if they're available free over the internet, can they create an LLM?
You would definitely need an expert
Okay.
to do that kind of a skilled work, basically. But yeah, theoretically you can learn from there, and if you have ample amount of time, sit down, do this stuff. Right? It requires hardcore engineering mindset. Always.
So, creating a public AI, of course, you need all of this. What does it take to create a private AI?
Yeah, you should really understand the limitations, boundaries, and lot of other specs. I mean, like, what do you want to put as an ingredient in there? How it has to really act. So you have to do a lot of trial and error. Okay, and one of the core concept, I mean, like, you would need patience over there in this game, basically, right? And during the trial and error, you'll get burned out. Right. And how I learned, basically, if you ask me, back in days, we don't have ChatGPT to write a code, or we don't have all these LLMs to write the code.
Yeah.
We used to sit down and write the code. Okay.
Correct.
Now it is just a piece of a thing. You just enter a prompt. It will give you everything. Even the troubleshooting is also similar. Back in days, we used to rely completely on sharing the knowledge, Stack Overflows. There are a bunch of them, right? So we used to spend so much of amount of time to do that research. And we know where to engineer it. We know which screw to pull off and tighten it off, basically.
Yeah.
Right. So that expertise is literally needed to do all that kind of a work. But yeah, always make sure you are not giving your data for these big giants or big systems for your convenience.
Got it. Okay, this discussion so far, it's got me thinking. So much data is getting collected, but my life is becoming easy, right? Like, it is only giving me so much convenience. For a second, when you bring up about the car getting collecting data, yes, I am taken aback, but you also said, when should the airbags open? They can design the cars better with that data and everything. It is very true, right? Now my life is becoming convenient, right? Like, so it's not that harmful if you think of it, don't you think?
Yeah, it's not that harmful, basically, but you wouldn't need so much of data to do, better experience, basically. You would need limited amount of data.
Okay.
I mean, like, you should really address a question when you're doing an engineering, which is known as feature engineering.
Okay.
What kind of features do you really need? And what kind of data do you really have to collect from there? Right. And that is how I think you can respect someone's privacy. Right. So, for example, you want to put shoes in a shoe rack, you don't have to give your Aadhaar card, right? You just take a token and return that token when you come back, and just collect your shoe and just go home. Right. There is no need, but there's so much of drama around it, just in case, because see, all this comes into the assumptions again, right?
Yeah.
If somebody takes your shoe, vagera, all that drama comes, and that's the reason why there's a lot of unnecessary data which is there. That's the reason why when you're creating such a good user experience, you should know what kind of features of data you should really collect. Right? And you should always remember that please do not exchange your valuable data for your convenience.
It's privacy by design, right? Like, at the core of that, it's like, I don't need this guy's number. Will companies do that? Do you see that happen in the future?
I think yes, they have to adhere, basically, because privacy is a fundamental right. You take any country, any place, anything, right? So we have to respect it.
Okay.
And companies also have to adhere, but to a reasonable way again.
So I'm a company. People will just click OK to terms and conditions.
Yes.
They'll click accept and they'll give all my data
Yes.
to my company. Why will I not do it? Why will I not take that data when they're freely giving?
Obviously, I mean, like they're giving it for their convenience. For example, the best example is SSO, single sign-on process, right?
Okay.
See, in olden days, if you just go back, you have to enter your email. I mean, like it might be 12 characters, 13 characters, or everything. People used to get bored, right? So Google came up with single sign-ons. Meta came up with single sign-on. You already have a Gmail. Press on Google sign-up. It's signed up. It's easy. Right. And even at that point, Google will say, this is the data which I'll be collecting. So you should be really conscious. There is a tick option over there.
Yeah.
These are the parameters which I collect. Is it doable or not?
Yeah.
If you don't need it, just cancel. You come out and do it in a way how you want to do it.
With advent of AI, right? It's a newer technology. Okay. Now it is very nascent at the moment. I would say it only emerged in the last 2-3 years. Now, is that secure?
It's not accurately secured.
Okay.
Because see, you are feeding the data and the same question what you are asking to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I can ask the same question, I can get the same data. See, it's already trained intelligence or trained knowledge base.
Okay.
So the knowledge is getting refined on daily basis, and it's in the form of that reinforced learning which is happening right now out there. So any common person, it's imagine just like, what are the best nearby restaurants? You search it on Google. You get the same results, I get the pretty much same results, right?
Correct.
Right. Pretty much same.
Yeah.
Right. But over there, in the age of AI, you get the same results. There is no variation also.
Okay. So even here, there is compliance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So will the compliance protect me enough? Like 10 on 10?
No. It's just like showing you an badge or something else to make you happy for that particular moment.
Okay. So compliance is again like you're saying that it is just to show me for the moment.
For the moment,
Okay.
yeah.
Like when there is an issue arrives, compliance somehow saves it and asks me if I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Right. Then you're saying that the system itself, like consider it to be a dam. Okay. So it's like when there is a crack, compliance is that bandage.
Bandage. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
Then, so you're saying the dam itself is cracking.
Yeah.
Is it cracking?
It is. The system is so old. Right?
Okay.
And now whatever we are developing, these intelligent applications, back in days we used to have only two different layers. Okay. One is an infrastructure layer, another one is application layer, where all these applications used to be. But what happened during that age of building all these applications, people started collecting the data. So now you want to get from good analytics or good strategy out of that, because see, ultimately what IT does, right? Information technology, which is getting redefined as intelligent technology. Okay, what it does, it supports a business or it supports a person, an individual or anything. Okay, just like back in days you have to take the water from the well. Okay, you have to have an hook and you have to throw that. But now you turn on switch, your water comes because there is a motor. It is doing very active work, proactively. This is motor, right? So this is an additional assistance which is sitting right next to you. Okay, you are mining that kind of a data, you are feeding it, and now that intelligent layer has already formed. Okay, so the question is, how do you really observe that intelligent layer? What is happening? I mean, like, see, we have gave so much amount of data till now to the apps, what we have installed on our phone, what we have used and all that. So as we have spoke, that 360 is already formulated. So now it is the time for us to, go out there and, expand ourselves, right? There's no traditionality still existing. So we are using this intelligent technologies such as, AI again, right? And generative AI phase where we are right now. Okay. So obviously, there is so much of data it has been trained on all these, AI systems which are out there.
So is there any way like an expert like you, find out that this guy is only saying private for the sake of saying private, and this guy is saying private because he really means, he has designed his product with privacy by design as its core. Can you differentiate that?
Yeah, we can by the design itself you can find it out.
Okay.
You know, if you just sit down over there and start working out, backtracking those footprints,
Yeah.
you will really know whether this design is adhering to one's privacy and security or not, literally.
Yeah.
And you can find it out. And obviously, when you are disconnected to the internet, not for the other sources or not for the other stuff, but for the stuff what you need, when you're disconnected, you will be more secured in that sense.
Of course, you saying that we can backtrack and we can find out if this system is safe or not, right? What would you do? How would you guarantee that a product that you would develop is privacy by design at its core?
Yeah. So, having my own motivation, right? See, I designed these systems for myself, first of all. I imagined my own persona in that stand, literally, and I have designed it. So I'll make sure to the, toppest level that it will be secured and it will be safe for the people who I offer. So that is a guarantee, or that is a commitment which I can give it to the people
Got
out
it.
there. Yeah.
So I've learned quite a lot today, a lot about privacy, AI, and clearly my data should be a concern for me. So in a world where data is mined in every direction possible, you need to click wisely. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for more such content.